Welcome back to the Olive Oil Critic. I am so glad that you are here with me learning more about extra virgin olive oil every day, how to use it and integrate it into everyday life. Today, we are going to be tasting a fun oil. This is an Olio Nuovo or a Nuovo from Kalamata, Greece. It is a Koroneiki variety, but this is an extra early harvest, and it is from Oakmont Olive Oil Company. And they work with the Lakoniko family to import their oils and share them with their community. And this oil, like I said, it's Koroneiki, which is synonymous with Greek oil, one in the same, and it comes from Lakonia in Greece. And this oil was harvested the very end of September, beginning of October. So very early harvest, especially for this cultivar. And it is quite green in every way, shape, and form. The olives were green. They're very small and almost teardrop shape with a pointy end, I guess. So they're interesting in the shape of the Koroneiki olive. They're quite small and tiny, and especially when they're harvested this early, they are not large because most of the oil hasn't developed yet. It's just in the mid stages of developing at that point and is full of antioxidants. So the oil itself isn't full of antioxidants, the olive is. The flesh and the fruit is where the oleoeuropein is held and all of the antioxidants live. But during the extraction process, those antioxidants are imparted into the oil. So there's about 10 to 15% infusion. It would be the way the antioxidants are actually infused into the oil during the malaxing process, and only about 10 to 15% of them actually land in the olive. So the pulp and the leftovers from the olive are actually quite nutritious still. They have a very high antioxidant content because of that. But this oil, like I said, very early harvest, so not a large oil volume. You're definitely sacrificing quantity for quality when making a Novello like this, a Nuovo, and it's a unique process, especially for the Koroneiki. All right, let's give it a sniff and see what this oil can offer. Oh, it's so herbaceous, but I also get this really vibrant kind of not just tomato leaf, but also a green banana. It smells like I just took a whiff of, of fresh banana. It's quite fruity. I would say it's kind of borderline ripe fruit to green fruit, which is surprising because this is such an early harvest. I wouldn't expect to find as much ripe fruit present in the nose, but it is very much herbaceous, and you've still got that present banana on the nose. Let's see what it tastes like. Ah, there's the green. Goodness, it's so bitter. Very, very bitter. On the sides of your palate, especially. I'm just getting like lots of almost green tea, the a mintiness, and lots of pepper. It's quite astringent on the back of your palate. Nice and rich and peppery and full. It's like a combination of cinnamon and capsicum and black pepper all mixed together, but very, very vibrant on the back of the palate for sure. And the lingering bitterness is really present. The herbaceousness kind of comes after, but that shock of the bitter is definitely the first thing that you try and do taste. Like I said, very indicative of green tea, kind of that mintiness. You've definitely got some radicchio as well. Just to those bitter lettuce greens are very, very present in this oil. And then again, that peppery finish is quite intense at the beginning, and then it does linger, but it's still persistent, but not as intense. The intensity doesn't linger the same way. It turns into this beautiful, almost a green peppercorn finish after a few seconds of initial initial intensity. It definitely lingers off. This oil would be incredible for bitter green salads. I love pairing bitter with bitter, and because it's so rich and chewy and has a lot of those rich notes present in it, especially that herbaceousness, they would just come alive if you paired it with a bitter green salad. Thinking Swiss chard, even sautéed collard greens, this would be so good with kale. Um, yeah, and any of those bitter greens, mustard greens, and just rub this oil into it, and then maybe use it in a tahini lemon dressing on top. Add some feta cheese, add some nuts, even some dried fruit would be delicious. Fresh tomatoes, cucumbers, celery, anything like that would be delightful as well. And you've got this really rich, nutritious salad. You can definitely tell all of the health benefits that are in this oil just from that intense peppery finish. The oleocanthal is definitely present. All those antioxidants are still very much alive in this oil. This is a beautiful example of a Novello. Knowing that it was such an early harvest, it's a beautiful example of what they've been able to create, and it's so versatile. Like I said, beyond salads, you could use this in stir fries. It would be great in roasted veggies. I'm thinking like peppers or zucchini, sweet potato on the barbecue would be really good. You could also use this for marinating feta. The salinity of the feta would really enhance the overall flavor of this oil, but also might be a little bit too bitter for that. But as soon as you start adding other flavors, I'd add just a touch of acid. If you're adding a squeeze of lemon or add a splash of cider vinegar, that bitterness will really dissipate and you'll notice the fruitiness and the herbaceousness will be really, really present. So there's lots of possibilities, even if you're thinking about a baked feta dish with roasted tomatoes, toss that with some fresh pasta. That would be a delicious use of this oil as well. Even polenta fries, something like that would be really tasty as well. I love to make polenta fries with just olive oil and some veggie stock. So that way they're vegan. You don't need cream or cheese or anything added. And then you can just serve it with a simple tomato, like a roasted tomato marinara, and you've got this gorgeous vegan appetizer that is so, so, so tasty. And the olive oil really ties it together, and the flavors are really present. And that creaminess of the polenta complements a really intense and more robust olive oil like this Olio Novello from from Oakmont Olive Oil Company. I hope you enjoyed this oil. I hope you get a chance to taste it as well. Questions, please let me know in the comments. And thank you for being with me and learning more about olive oil every day.